Welcome to Quick 3D Tutorials. In this video we want to show you how to create tileable texture inside Zbrush. So we're going to create a tileable texture, we're going to create tileable nanomesh, we're going to create a tileable mesh if we kind of mesh object we want to insert on it, and after it we're going to get the diffuse map, normal map, bump map, displacement map, and all the kind of other map also. And if you want to do this inside Modbox, you can find the video inside the channel. So in this case we're going to show you how to get diffuse, paint layers, normal map, vector displacement and bump map, and we're going to use the Arnold 5 to render it on it. Before we go to how to create it inside the tileable texture, we need actually have tileable plane. So I will just show you something before we go to it. The yellow area is this area we want to have full tileable texture. So when we want to painting, everything needs to be tileable in the other planes as well. And that is important, this one to be 4x4, because half of this, it should be somewhere here. By this way, we're going actually to reduce, we're going to remove the other area of it. The second thing is we're going to, when we want to add the subdivided the area, it is important not only do this in the yellow area, but grow your selection and make it for the other and fading it down. By the thing is we're going to get by this way, if you have the stroke by the bump and you're going to the outside of this area, it will not missing the subdivision or the detail you have just creating it. So with that said, we're going to Maya, and inside Maya we're going to create a plane. Double click on it, and that is very important, you use this setting. This setting basically, I'm going to say why it is this setting. So we're just creating it first. Now we're going to the faces, select the central and grow it. To grow your selection, go to the selection and grow. So now we have 4x4 and we have half of this area, as you can see. And this size is basically perfect size you will get inside the Zbrush plane. So if you're going to create a Zbrush plane, is basically is this size. So that is very important because we want to get tileable nanomesh and tileable object on it. So that is very important, we're running with the same because we want to use the Zbrush array mesh. So when you have selecting it, we want also fix the UV if you want to export your UV maybe or some of other things, but you can also render only this area if you want. But we're just going to make the UV also. So by this area is selected, go to the create, go to the plane, but before you go to it, holding shift and click on it, make sure it is y-axis and just project. So now our plane is perfectly lined up inside UV, but the other thing we have is actually the outside is not the same size, it should be more outside. So to do this, by selecting the central, which is I can just show you by not the this one, which is the central, is selected, go to the transform, get the destiny and select the outside and put it to be set. So now is have the same destiny as you can see, and that is outside is no problem because we don't need have this. So we're going back to the default. The other thing is actually we want go back again to the central of this, selecting it and go ahead duplicate this. So holding shift, right click on it, go to the duplicate faces, make sure you're using the default setting, duplicate this, and now we have duplicate the central of it. And we're going to duplicate once again and move it. Before I move it, why we need have this? So the first one is this plane we're going to painting or sculpting the tileable texture on. The second one is for the camera. So when we are inside the ZBrush, we want only focus on this area, so it is easier. Just select this and focus on this plane. We don't need to use it for anything. So you can also just push it a little bit up if you want to. Let's see, 0.5. Okay, and the last one is this one. We're going to use it for Nanomesh and other things. So we're going to use this for inside the object, inside the tileable area, and we're going also using it for the Nanomesh. So after this, we're going to select these and central pivot, history deleting, and freeze transformation, putting it back, and so on. So now we don't need to see the camera and the Nanomesh, so we're going to just hide this. Now we're going to just focus about this area. So as I say, it is not, we want actually now to add more subdivision inside the central and less inside outside of the plane. So it is only this area we want, but we're going to add it one more to get, if our brush is going to out, we don't missing or getting any seam from for our tileable texture. So to do this, once again, faces, that is this tileable area we want, but we're going just growing it once again. Go to the modeling, edit, and make sure you're using the default option of this. And now we're going to just add 1 and 2 times. When we have adding it, we're going to just grow it once again. And if you don't want, you can find the grow selection here. I'm just using the hotkey for it, and grow it once again. And you can also do it once again if you like. But by this way, we have a lot of information inside central, and we have less here like fading out, because it's going to be faster when you going to sculpting on it. So basically now we have everything we need. Now we want to export it to the ZBrush, but before we can exporting it, we need just export it to be OBJ file. To do this, make sure you're going to the Windows, go to the plugin manager, and find something called OBJ. Make sure it is loading, otherwise you cannot export the OBJ file. So we're starting by tiles texture. So now we're starting by the tiles. We're selecting it. Go ahead to the file, export selection. Make sure you have OBJ by this setting and just export this. I just save it inside a new folder. Texture. So here we have the first plane. Then we're going to select the camera, same thing here. Camera. And Nanomesh. For Nanomesh, it is important the same position it needs to be, just to know it. So we just call it Nanomesh. So now we have exporting it, and in the next video we want to show you how to import these information inside the ZBrush. And thanks for watching.